to the Style and Beauty Doctor on YouTube, and in today's video we are going to be talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly of the Sephora 2019 holiday offering, so keep watching. And if you're watching this like, Danielle, but your eye makeup don't match each other, it's because I filmed a video on department store palette versus a drugstore palette. So one palette is on each eye, so it may not be the same colors, but make sure you watch the video. So depending on when you're watching this video, it'll either already be uploaded or it'll be uploading soon. Either way, make sure you subscribe to this channel and sign up for notifications. You know, hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. So around this time of year, it's really exciting when brands start to release their holiday offerings, especially at Sephora, because there are lots of really great sets that you can buy for yourself, or if you're like in the giving spirit, you actually give them to people, because I mean it is the giving season, so you want to give things to people. But it's so tempting to want to buy each and everything, but not everything is worth getting. So here's my rundown on the good, the bad, and the ugly. So with the good, most of the items that are in the good happen to be skincare sets. This is an amazing time of year to get skincare sets. I mean, skincare sets are great year-round, but you know, obviously around this time of year, a lot of brands offer even more variety. Skincare sets are great because they give you a little bit of a taste into either a brand that you're looking to try, or maybe there's a particular formula that you wanted to try. Or if you're someone who travels often and you like having minis of your favorite products, this is the time of year to really look at these skincare sets. So I'm going to go through, I haven't tried all of these because can you imagine if I had? But these are ones that catch my eye, and then kind of based on some of the questions that I get from you guys, whether here on YouTube, my blog, my Instagram, or Twitter, wherever, that people tend to have the most issues with. So obviously, when you're looking at a kit, you want to make sure that, you read through the things and research and make sure that it's something that's going to speak to your specific and current skincare needs. This time of year, especially as the weather starts to cool down, the skin can get a little things can get a little funky with the skin. So when the weather starts to get a little colder, the skin's natural renewing process tends to slow down a little bit. You might notice that your skin's looking a little dull. You might notice that wow, I need to exfoliate. Your radiance might be, dwindling. Your light might be flickering, that you want to bring the light back. So there are a lot of kits and offerings from Sephora that will help you out with that. Without further ado, let's go through a couple of these. For 15 bucks, Origins has a set. Their set is called the Good Morning Greats Cleansing, Hydrating, and Brightening Skincare Trio. So for 15 bucks, it might be a cute stocking stuffer, or if you were like, you know what, I really wanted to try Origins, that might be something that you want to check out. Now also in the brightening category, Murad has two Radiant Vibe sets. So one has, and I believe these are full-size products, full-size products of the Rapid Age Spotlighting Treatment, as well as their Brightening Moisturizer with SPF 30. This is a set that helps lighten hyperpigmentation. Now, one thing to note about hyperpigmentation, the sooner you get it is the sooner you want to, start tackling it. The older the spots are, the harder they are to tackle with things that you can buy over the counter, so keep that in mind. Actually a great buy because it has a $137 value and you're only paying 72 bucks. If you wanted to do more of like a dabble into it, they do have a smaller size for $25, same products, except here you're going to get the 0.33 ounce of the spot treatment and the 0.7 ounce of the SPF brightening moisturizer. A Henriksen set, 15 bucks. This is great for like a stocking stuffer, or if these products are specific, like you specifically want these two products, you want them or you want to try them out. For 15 bucks, you can get the TBT Truth Be Toned set, and in the set you'll get a ½ ounce of the Truth Serum, which again I said I've tried and I liked, and a 2.2 ounce of the Oil Control Toner. This is also a really great time for mask sets. Mask sets are great gifts because who doesn't love a mask? Who amongst us does not love to pamper the skin? So Peter Thomas Roth and a mask set at Sephora go together like peanut butter and jelly. Like, is it really a Sephora holiday offering without some Peter Thomas Roth mask set? So they keep bringing them out for a reason. People love them. So this set, the Mix Mask and Hydrate set, it's $75. It has a $218 value. So you get masks and moisturizers with this set, and just a reminder that everything will be linked in my blog post, which is also linked in the description box. I especially love that Supergoop has a number of SPF sets, because I find that, you know, sometimes there's a good job done of promoting the usage of sunscreen during the summertime, but the summertime is not the only time when the sun comes out. Even though the sun only comes out for, you know, a couple hours during the wintertime, the sun still comes out. Sun exposure is cumulative. Even if it's cloudy, the sun's rays can still penetrate through the cloud, so it's important to protect yourself. So there are a number of Supergoop sunscreen sets that I'm so happy to see. So Supergoop has an everyday SPF set. It's $32. It has a $42 value. In that set, you can get a couple of deluxe samples of some of their best-selling sunscreens. So the Unseen, which is their clear sunscreen, a 0.34 ounce. Then you can get a 2.4 ounce. That sounds like that might be closer to a full size of the everyday sunscreen for face and body, and then a 1 ounce of their SPF setting spray. So I'm all here. I wish we could see even more sunscreen sets during the holidays, because a lot of people just, you know, they forget that the sunscreen's for year round. So kudos to Supergoop and kudos to Sephora. But, however, the kudos will end when we get to the bad and the ugly. But let's go over some more good, because you know, doesn't it feel good to talk about the good? Okay, makeup wise, let's talk some of the good makeup things that you can get at Sephora. So Beauty Blender has a set, the Crown Jewels Blender Essentials. It is a $65 retail price with a $112 value. So if you count how many beauty blenders that you get in this set, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and we know that beauty blenders are about 20 bucks a piece. So already we're winning, because 4 beauty blenders bought separately would be $80 and this set is $65. What you get in this set, you'll get the 4 beauty blenders in these gorgeous jewel tone colors, but you're also going to get 4 cleansers for your beauty blenders that also come in beautiful jewel tone colors. So that's a really great value. So something to check out for the beauty blender lover, whether that be you or a friend. Another thing that's like really like catching my eye, but I really would need to like try it on. Well, Fenty has a mini of the Stunner lip paint and a new shade that's going to be called Underdog. It looks like that. Remember when that image of Rihanna at a sporting event was going around and she had that really dark aubergine, deep, dark, beautiful lip color on, and then later we found out that, you know, probably a stan more than likely photoshopped the lip color to make it look so dark. Well, this shade looks like it's their interpretation of that photograph shade. So that looks really cool. That's launching October 11th. It's 15 bucks. It's a mini. It does come in a very gorgeous packaging, like an ornament packaging, something that you can hang on the tree. I think it's adorable to give as, you know, little stocking stuffer gifts to the Fenty Beauty lovers. Very nice. Then there are 2 Sephora favorite sets that I'm like, oh, those are kind of cool. So there's the Lash Dash set. It's $48. It has a $138 value. So this is going to come with a variety of mascaras. If you're someone who's like, you know what, I love trying mascaras. There's also a pair of lashes in here. This will be good. This is also good to, you know, give as a gift as well. I like that because mascara is going to, you know, you need to toss it every 2 to 3 months. Anyway, so if you're someone who's constantly wearing mascara, that's a good set to have. And then you get to try a bunch of different ones. That's always fun to try different products. Last item that I'm going to highlight on the goods list, if you want to see more, make sure you check out my blog post linked in the description box. But this is the Superstar set. So these are items that are top sellers at Sephora. So this is $48. It has a $137 value. These are all deluxe samples. I think that's a really cool way. Like if you're someone who maybe you were on a no-buy, or maybe you're just getting into makeup and you've heard like a lot of things that people say about these products and you're like, oh, you know what, let me try them. This is a great way to kind of try a bunch of new things at one time. And it also makes for a great gift. But now we must move on to the bad and then ultimately the ugly. Now, I'm not saying that these products perform badly. They're just not really catching my eye, and they're definitely not catching my coins. So the first one is the Pat McGrath Blitz Quad Eyeshadow Palette. Now, I love my Pat McGrath eyeshadow palettes. I have one of the bigger ones that retails for like, I think $115 or $125. That one I did get as a gift from someone who actually knows Pat McGrath. And I have the smaller palettes, the ones that retail for $55. They come with 6 shades. I have, I believe, 2 of those. 4 eyeshadows for $65? I'm sorry. It's I just feel like you can get more variety with the smaller palettes, and the smaller palettes are cheaper. Even though the quads, the shadows are bigger in size, it's just not adding up for me, so I'm sorry. Also on the bad, Sephora has this, like, you know, Sephora always does like these big blockbuster sets. They always seem good in value, but there's so much makeup. So this one is the Sephora Collection Igloo Palace Blockbuster set. So you get a lot of makeup. Now let me click on this and read off all the things that comes in this set. You see how much makeup. So it's $39.50. It says it has $185 value. 60 eyeshadows. There's 24 glosses. There's 8 cream eyeliners, 4 brow powders, 6 highlighters, 3 blushes, 3 bronzers, and then there's a smoothing and brightening powder. Now, if this is on your list and you're gonna go get it, don't let me deter you. Like, I don't think like I'm dictating things. I mean, y'all know I'm not dictating anything. If you want to go buy something that I don't like, that's your prerogative. Like, we all grown here. But speaking of being grown, I don't think that something like this is going to get much value from someone other than maybe like a teenager that is just starting to get into makeup, because there's just so much stuff here. And what does this have the dimensions? I'm not even, no, it doesn't have the dimensions, so I'm not even sure quite how big this is. But I can only imagine how much space something like this would take up. If you're buying this for a teenager, the just getting into makeup part is very important, because these teenagers are very savvy. They're not like, they have way more options than we had when we were teenagers. And, you know, I would think that a teenager who's already into makeup is gonna be very specific about what they want. So this set, while it may not be bad, and the Pat McGrath one is probably not bad either, I just think it's just not a great idea. While this set may not be bad, it's very specific for who you buy it for, because it could, you know, just wind up being like a waste of your 40 bucks. I didn't have too many on my bad list because I saved that for the ugly. So let's get into the ugly. Okay. Now, as for the ugly, there are a lot of ugly items on my list, but I narrowed it down because there were so many good ones that I talked about, so I'm not going to dwell too much on the ugly. So what makes the ugly for this list is items that, like, the colors, it's just like, it makes absolutely no sense for someone with a deeper skin tone to get, unless you were like really fanatic about one single shade. And I just think buying a palette just for maybe like 1 or 2 colors to work is just not, it just doesn't make sense, you know? So here's what's on my list. The Laura Mercier Cheek Canvas Soft Cheek Palette. Now, I realize that I'm not picking on Laura Mercier, because we know Laura Mercier comes through when they want to come through. But this particular palette, now I know it says soft cheek and it's a certain look, but like, can we get at least another version of it for deeper skin tones? Because in this palette, there's like maybe 1 or 2 shades that darker skin tones can use. And I'm just like, can we get some more options? Another one on my ugly list, the Guerlain Golden Land palette. In the description, it says it's universally flattering. I don't know, but it looks very gray and boring and sad to me. Not something that I would want to pick out. And then also on my ugly list, the Sephora Collection Wintertime Eye and Face Palette. Again, like maybe at most 2 to 3 of these shades would work on darker skin tones. I don't know. I know the winter and holiday time, it's like you think of like snow and ice and like those kind of things. And with that, you think of like white and maybe like iridescent white and light pinks and light blues and things like that. But those are not colors that go well on everyone. So I don't know. Can we start thinking more of like jewel tones and you know, more pigments and colors? I don't know. Jackie Aina's ABH palette got me so spoiled. Like, like, don't get me wrong. There are palettes that are out there that do work for us. But, you know, there's always that palette where there's like 2 or 3 colors that don't work well, that you don't wind up using that much, which I think is a bit of a waste. But sometimes we, you know, rationalize that, you know, sometimes this is as good as it's gonna get. If you like 80% of the palette, like maybe this 20%, it's like you just take an L on it. But that Jackie Aina ABH palette has me spoiled because I use every single shade in that palette. Like, I need more of that. That kind of like care and dedication into choosing colors that's gonna work for deeper skin. I want to see that more in holiday palettes. Like, I mean, face palettes, face and cheek palettes. A couple of brands do them. I think like Too Faced might do them during the holiday times. What's the other one? Tarte might do a couple of those. Sephora collection I just mentioned on my ugly list did one. Face and cheek palettes are like really like, oof. I can't remember the last time I bought a face and cheek palette that wasn't from like a brand that was geared towards, you know, darker skin, or like a brand like Stila a couple of years ago had like a face palette, but they had a light one, they had a medium one, and they had a dark one. I would love to see more of that. It's almost as if they think that like people with deeper skin tones don't buy holiday makeup. It's like, you ain't putting out nothing that makes sense for us to use. All right, this is what I go through almost like every year at holiday. Actually, not almost, but every year at holiday. Skincare sets are always going to be amazing because skincare sets aren't always specific to like, you know, skin tone and things like that. But brands got to work on these makeup sets. Like, ugh. So I'm going to keep my eye out on any launches from any Black-owned brands or any of the indie brands that, you know, add more color into their holiday lineup. So that is the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I've done enough talking here, so now it is your turn. So let me know in the comments below which sets at Sephora. Now remember, this video is specific to Sephora. Well, I might do a video on Ulta. Specifically here, let me know what you have your eye on, what you will not be buying from Sephora. Let me know that in the comments. Links to everything that is mentioned in this video, as well as some more items that caught my eye from the Sephora holiday lineup, will also be in my blog, which will be linked in the description box. Also in the description box, links to follow me on social, and I will see you fine folks in my next video. Bye guys.